Like, it really seems like some of you want him to be a horrible, incel, intentionally malicious guy.
If you're going out of your way to argue that Bear isn't as bad as people claim he is, you can't have an honest discussion about Bear's morality when you choose to exclude certain scenes that show Bear at his absolute worst.
No, I completely agree about that. It does look a lot like he's defending a character in a movie who does egregious acts, and the optics of that are not good.
So a YouTuber named Alex Myers, who's known for reviewing a variety of TV shows and movies, has gotten himself into controversy recently when he decided to review the beloved indie film Obsession.
What I don't understand is why he even reviewed this movie, because he's doing Toy Story 3, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 4, and then Obsession. So he covers Barbie and Toy Story, and then I guess maybe, I don't know if these are rated R movies down here, but to go from Lotso is a big villain to let's get into Obsession, a movie about mind control and murder, it just seems like a giant jump.
A variety of TV shows and movies.
He goes, hold on a second. I'm dead. Look at this. So down here, he's covering Hoppers. Is this the best Pixar can do now? This is literally a rated G movie. This is for fetuses.
Movies. He has gotten himself into controversy recently when he decided to review the beloved indie film Obsession, and instead of merely summarizing the movie in a comedic fashion, like he does with most of his other videos,
He does all movies, to be fair. Okay, I didn't know.
Alex
But it's funny. It's super funny to juxtapose these.
Decided to also provide a nuanced take when analyzing the protagonist slash villain of the movie, Bear. And based on how the video was received by viewers, it didn't go so well. Choosing to defend Bear is a weird hill to die on, honestly.
I don't think any YouTuber who's doing a movie review is ever going to die on the hill of defending a character that doesn't exist. I think they care about their career too much. That's why he deleted the videos.
Oh, I can't believe anyone can watch this movie and end up thinking Bear is the victim. I like how you made an entire video about how the rapist is actually a misunderstood nice guy with no game, just like you. Damn. Alex knows.
Okay, that's kind of insane though, to like say that the YouTuber, like this guy who just does movie reviews, is just because he makes some points, you know, defending the character who is obviously super fucking evil, for you to then like extrapolate that like they're kind of on the same level or kind of nudge in that direction is also kind of insane. Come on.
Misunderstood nice guy with no game, just like you. Damn. Alex noticed the backlash and decided to leave a pinned comment stating, "Unfortunately, some of you are doing the very thing I talked about in the video. You're only seeing and hearing what you want out of my video. Instead of actually listening to what I am saying, as I say multiple times in the video, Bear is bad. He does bad things. He is a villain. My video was in reaction to people saying that he is some kind of evil incel from the beginning. I wanted..."
Well, he's not an incel. Bear isn't an incel. Like, in the movie, that other girl has a crush on him, right? What's her name? Sarah? So how could he be an incel if there are women who are attracted to him that are in his friend group that would be willing to sleep with him? The word incel has lost all meaning, and it's shown in instances like this. I heard this, I don't know if this is true, but Nikki Freeman would have actually given Bear a chance. And there's a lot of things in the movie that indicate to this, even if he didn't use the fucking wish thing, right? Like she said, if I had a crush on someone, nobody would ever really know. Stuff like that. So it's not even like he needed to make the wish in the first place. But yeah, to say that like, oh, he's an incel or it's incel horror, that's the thing I'm seeing that people are saying now. This show is incel horror. It's the horrors that can take place when an incel loses his cool or does something crazy. And I'm just like, bruh, okay, maybe this isn't the best example of that.
To look at how he goes from just a normal dude into the villain. I say in the video that after he realizes the wish worked, he goes on to be the bad guy and gets worse and worse. I think
the biggest issue is that he's a simp. Like, he wished for this girl to love him, bro. You could wish for time travel to go back in 2010 and buy Bitcoin. It's ridiculous. What a horrible wish. Can we not agree that's like one of the worst wishes you could make? He didn't know it would come true, but still, come on, man. What a waste. You don't buy a one-wish willow and hope it doesn't work.
Feel the
it's just soy.
Need to show every single instance of him being bad because they are all covered by the statement itself. I literally say that he is bad multiple times. I am not defending Bear, but some of you are literally only hearing what you want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, it's because people don't hear the, like, 30 seconds of preamble where you say, I don't support this guy or what he did, and I don't agree with this, and I don't agree with that. But that time when he did this, like, they don't hear anything before the but. That's just how it works, right? Same thing with, like, Homelander, like, from The Boys. If ever you say, oh, yeah, Homelander cares about his country, you know, there's parts of him that are redeemable, people are like, what? But he did this, and this. It's like you are an NPC droid, and you have no place in actual nuanced discussion at all.
And not hearing the actual words I say in the video, I wanted to look at how he goes from a normal, kind of depressed loser guy into the villain, and not that he is a villain from the beginning. After Alex tries to explain himself with a top comment, he then decided to make a 5-minute response video addressing the backlash, and when that failed, Alex removed both videos and left a
Oh, dude, this is so bad. Look at the comments. I'm sorry you felt that way is not an apology. Does he really owe anyone an apology? Like, okay, he had an interpretation of the film that you didn't like, that I guess had a few comments here and there that were, like, unnecessary, and maybe he could have said them better, but what the fuck does he owe you an apology for? Apologize to who? You? For what? Watching men react to... Oh, get ready, guys. Fucking Kuromi from the Hello Kitty universe has something to say. Watching men react to obsession and defending this dude is the new way of figuring out if an intoxicated or unconscious woman would be safe alone with them. No way, dude. That's ridiculous. Really, that's how you're gonna judge this? So you think if you're at a bar with a guy and he liked Obsession and he said, yeah, you know, Bear for the first 20 minutes of the movie seems like a normal guy. What are you're gonna call the cops on him? If an intoxicated or unconscious woman would be safe alone with them. Also, what the fuck is the point of this if not to imply that Alex Meyer, the dude who made the video himself, would rape a woman? That's what you're implying. This is the new way of figuring out if a girl who's drunk or asleep would be safe with someone. Also, like, first of all, it's not. Second of all, you're only writing this to say that this test that you've invented is a test that the dude would fail. This is nuts.
When that failed, Alex removed both videos and left a community post saying, I have taken down both videos relating to Obsession. I am sorry to those who were hurt by them. I will be more mindful of my words and jokes in the future. This is hilarious to me because Alex starts his Obsession review by essentially saying his take is going to be Uber-based, and he don't give a frick if that upsets you, only for him to then private the video. To put it bluntly, for movie review watchers, Alex Meyer's review of Obsession is essentially his version of Doug Walker's review of The Wall. Here, you have two film critics that thought they could provide an unpopular take for a beloved movie just for the sake of being a contrarian, and really all the review does is just demonstrate a lack of media literacy, but it
Wait, so The Wall by Pink Floyd is a movie? I thought that was like a song. Okay, I guess both.
And really all the review does is just demonstrate a lack of media literacy, but at least Doug kept his review of Pink Floyd's The Wall public. Gotta give him credit there. And now after watching Alex's review of Obsession in its entirety, it does become apparent that he is right in the sense that some of the top commentators didn't even watch the video for themselves, just assumed the worst based on what other people were saying.
This is something that just people do on all social media platforms. Like, before they even watch a video, they want to know what the public opinion surrounding it is, so they have like something to reference for their own interpretation. If they're watching the video and they find themselves agreeing with everything the guy's saying, but they know that the comments are disagreeing with it, they're gonna think something's wrong with them, and they're not gonna like voice their opinion in the comments if they know they'll be torn to shreds over it.
Like, here we have someone commenting, "It shocks me that there's a debate out there on who the villain was," when that was never the conversation. Everyone, including Alex, acknowledges Bear as the villain.
Ultimately, Bear is the bad guy. Like, this is a bad dude. Yes, absolutely. Nikki is completely innocent. Her life is forever ruined because of some depressed, selfish loser guy, okay? Yes, like that's the outcome of the movie.
That's
And people are saying that this guy's like an insane person. That's actually a very reasonable take, and I don't think he could have said that much better at all.
Ruined because of some depressed, selfish loser guy, okay? Yes, like that's the outcome of the movie.
That said, Alex's analysis of the movie Obsession and the character Bear is still utter horseshit, and we're gonna look at why, along with his response to the backlash. Alright,
sure,
let's start. So, Alex starts his review by simply narrating over key plot points while making jokes, which is pretty typical for his other videos. But then it enters bad take territory after he covers the scene where Bear makes his wish.
So as you can see, Nikki's starting to act a little out of character. She's saying things that don't make sense. She also demands to go over to his house to spend the night.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And to Bear's credit, he's not immediately jumping at the chance to take advantage of her or whatever. Like, he gives her privacy and space. He doesn't want to make it weird. He turns around when she takes her shirt off. And based on what people were saying about this movie online, I expected Bear to be this horribly angry, misogynistic incel dude, right? But up until this point, he's just some super socially awkward loser who has a crush on a girl, and he uses a $7 wishing toy that he assumes is not going to work. And then when Nikki starts acting like this, he's very confused and put off by it.
So, one of the main complaints people had with Alex's review is when he states, to Bear's credit, he doesn't take advantage of Nikki, insinuating Alex believes not taking advantage of someone sexually who is clearly in distress is the bare minimum. Do I think Alex genuinely believes Bear is going above and beyond by not automatically sleeping with Nikki, or that men do women a favor by not taking advantage of them? No. Obviously, this was just a poor choice of words that Alex didn't think too much about while
Okay, I think what he's saying. So I get what he's saying here. So it's the moment she shows a slight indication of interest, he doesn't jump on that. But then Alex Meyer says he didn't take advantage of her. And then the audience hears, are you saying that he didn't assault her? Or that he didn't fucking rape her or something like that? And so it's just they go to this insane conclusion because he could have worded it better, and then they somehow spin that back on him that he's defending a rapist, which is just absurd. So yeah, I don't know if I don't even know if that level of poor wording warrants this insane blowback, but I guess maybe he'll try to be more careful with how he words stuff like this in the future.
Writing his script. That said, Alex trying to understand why people don't like Bear in the beginning of the movie, it just shows that he doesn't fully understand this movie as a whole.
I'm not saying Bear is a blameless, innocent victim, okay? But I think some of you are a little too quick to attach motivation and subtext to this character that is not based on the movie. It really seems like some of you want him to be a horrible, incel, intentionally malicious guy, regardless of what actually happens in the movie. Okay, see, this is my point. Given the circumstances, Bear's being pretty normal about this, okay? Given what he does and does not know by this point in the movie, he could have slept with her, or he could have taken some kind of advantage of her, but he was rather gentlemanly at the time.
It's definitely understandable for viewers to sympathize with Bear before he makes the wish, considering that's the narrative clearly being pushed. Bear is shown to be insecure and lacks confidence, which is done to paint him as seemingly innocent. The movie begins revealing in pieces that Bear's cowardice is more sinister than what we as an audience were led to believe within the first act. And upon reflection, after seeing Bear's true nature, it becomes apparent that his innocent personality is nothing but a cover. Bear isn't a character that just transforms from innocent to sinister. The movie makes it very clear that he was always selfish and obsessive. Bear didn't take advantage of Nikki out of the kindness of his heart, but because he
I'm gonna be honest too, drawing that is kind of crazy.
Obsessive. Bear.
This is a crazy thing to draw. I don't like looking at this at all. I don't know why you would draw this, to be honest with you.
Bear didn't take advantage of Nikki out of the kindness of his heart, but because he was simply too cowardly to do anything with her. Only until Nikki is the one who engages with him does he enact on his lust for her, despite believing she's in distress, showing that he actually doesn't care for her well-being, and simply just wants to have her for himself. The opportunity presented to him comes with ignoring Nikki's well-being, yet he continues to pursue anyways. There are many examples throughout the second and third acts of obsession that reveal Bear's true nature, such as attempting to off himself to escape responsibility and raping her, despite discovering the authenticity of the wish. All these examples just reinforce how Bear actually was within the first act. By the way, within this video, attempting to paint Bear in a more positive light, Alex chooses to omit every example I have just provided, and while some have argued that his movie review is for people who have already seen the movie, leaving out these specific scenes only reinforces everyone's assumption that Alex is attempting to make Bear look more innocent. If your goal is to play devil's advocate, you still need to provide the entire context. Making
It's sort of like the peak end argument, right? Where it's like people only remember the most heightened part of the movie in terms of like emotions and plot points and the end of the movie, right? And so it's like, because they have that to reference when going into the review, even if he's just giving context or whatever, it looks really bad. Like, he's like, oh, like, to the viewer, it's like, why are you not talking about this, this, and this? And it seems like an intentional, like, narrative decision to make Bear look like more innocent than he is.
Excuses like your video was too long and doesn't make any sense. There were a handful of jokes you definitely could have cut out, and we would all be fine with
that's
it.
what
Like,
I'm
are you all
saying.
equally upset about the Disney Channel original movie Zapped or 16 Wishes? Because fundamentally, these are all the same movie. Like, remember?
Okay, that point is actually a good point, because this is a trope that's been used for a while. I don't know if it's like a great comparison, but yeah, I mean, it's the same thing where it's like guy, girl in a love, triangle or complicated situationship uses mind control, and it changes the dynamic of the relationship by removing their autonomy. So
Disney Channel original movie Zapped or 16 Wishes? Because fundamentally, these are all the same movie. Like, remember Descendants 1, Mal cast a spell that made Ben fall in love with her? Where's all the Reddit threads about that?
Yeah, comparing Obsession,
well, it's not a horror movie, right? There's no like murder and shit like that, but the trope is similar.
movie that actually explores deeper topics, to mindless little kid Disney movies seems incredibly disingenuous.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll play this game.
Yeah, I just don't think that, like, it's a good comparison in that the trope has been used before, but that's about all that there is to compare. That, like, they've done it before. The way in which they use it is so beyond different that it is kind of not worth bringing up.
To my surprise, there are actually multiple Reddit threads from fans of Descendant claiming it's creepy for how the movie portrays forceful love. So it would seem even the little kid Disney Descendant fan base acknowledges that your argument is fucking stupid.
Like, this is a bad dude. Yes, absolutely. Nikki is completely innocent. Her life is forever ruined because of some depressed...
Well, to be fair, I think that if we're to be as charitable to Alex as possible here, if he made a video about Zapped or the other movie and he defend the girl for doing the spell, let's not kid ourselves, there would be 5% of the blowback that there is for his defense of Bear, right? That's just true.
Disney Descendant fan base acknowledges that your argument is fucking stupid.
Like, this is a bad dude. Yes, absolutely. Nikki is completely innocent. Her life is forever ruined because of some depressed, selfish loser guy. Okay, yes, like that's the outcome of the movie. But how we get to that point, I think, is a lot more nuanced than a lot of you were giving the movie credit for.
If you're going out of your way to argue that Bear isn't as bad as people claim he is, you can't have an honest discussion about Bear's morality when you choose to exclude certain scenes that show Bear at his absolute worst.
No, I completely agree about that. The main, I think, argument, or like what you should focus on, is like why he did that, right? You can say maybe he did that to paint a narrative that he wanted people to buy into if they didn't watch the movie, or like maybe it was just laziness, like he didn't want to make the video a certain way, or maybe he was afraid of demonetization. Like, there's all sorts of things that you could say as to why he did it, but either which way, the result is that it does look a lot like he's defending a character in a movie who does egregious acts, and the optics of that are not good.
One of the more subtle implications.
Love spells are so lame. I would have wished for something like strength or some shit. What I'm saying, bro, like, dude, if you even have the slightest thinking that it's gonna work when you buy this thing, wish for something pragmatic, like money. Wish for something useful. Oh, yeah, I want to have abs, or like, a good body, a good-looking body. Like, I don't know, maybe these are all vain and shallow, but I think if you wish for love and it actually comes true, that's also equally shallow, because the love it's not pure, right? You just wish for money, no working, easy. Or wish for a nice house, I don't know, something simple.
Of Bear's true nature is the scene of him attempting to tweak or modify his wish so he can still enjoy being with Nikki for his benefit, as opposed to having the wish completely terminated for her benefit. He knows she's suffering, but his priority is to keep her all to himself. And when reflecting back on the first act, you understand that these character traits from Bear always existed but were more hidden.
Now, just to be clear, I'm not defending all of Bear's actions, okay? Because at this point in the movie, he knows the wish worked, and he knows the real Nikki's soul is like trapped or whatever, but he keeps on dating her and tries to like continue on as if this isn't the most horrible situation anyone could imagine. Although, to be fair, what is he supposed to do? Because if he breaks up with her, she's gonna hunt him down. And the only other choice, as we learn, is that the spell will break if he dies.
Right here, Alex argues that Bear didn't have any options to cancel the wish, so he shouldn't receive any flack for not trying, which is not what the movie wanted to portray. It's very within Bear's character to be so passive and cowardly, and that he doesn't even attempt to fix the wish. Only when Nikki's craziness became too much of an inconvenience for him does Bear actually try to undo the entire wish. You can't argue his cowardice is was just innocent folly when there are ramifications for his actions, along with the reveal of Bear's true colors that his desire to be in a relationship with Nikki comes at the cost of her own free will.
Yeah.
Yet he's willing to make that sacrifice because it's about what he wants. But those are my gripes with this movie review. It just completely misses the point. Anyways,
Yeah, it's just not a good review. That's just ultimately what we're gathering. I do think you have to be super careful with extrapolating from a bad review character assessments about the guy himself. Like, that's just terrible. Like, imagine meeting this guy and then you label him like all these things, and to have these things that you're saying evidenced, you go to like random timestamps of a movie review where he had some parsed words, you know? Not the best look. So anyway, I don't know. Maybe he should have deleted it or changed the way he did it, but I don't know how I feel about this guy's like character other than like he made a bad video. Like, I don't know anything about this guy, and I don't really feel comfortable making a leap to judge, you know, him as a person off of this. That's kind of really it. Yeah, ultimately, Bear was never intended to be interpreted as a good guy who didn't want to take advantage. He only doesn't knowingly take advantage because he is a cowardly man who ultimately does take advantage when he realizes he can do so without blowback. Yeah, I would agree with that.
after Alex's failed attempt to explain himself in a pinned comment, he decided to continue this discourse despite getting absolutely nowhere with anyone.
Yeah, I just think like he failed to see the point of the movie, and that just makes the video bad.
On Alex's now privated Instagram, he posted on a story, "It's interesting to me that some people are so upset about my video trying to fairly examine Bear when there are hundreds of true crime podcasts that do the same thing to real life rapists and serial killers, and women love those podcasts." Listen, I don't watch that shit, but as someone who doesn't know what you're talking about, it would be nice to have some sort of reference. Like, you misinterpreted a movie. Is there a true crime podcast that talks about serial killers and tries to argue they're not that bad while not understanding their actual story? Shockingly, the damage control Instagram post didn't work. Maybe a 5-minute response video semi-apologizing will do the trick. So, you know how the main issues people had with Alex's video were mostly about how he didn't understand the basic fundamentals of obsession, omitting context, and giving the character Bear too much grace for no reason? Well, instead of admitting he didn't do his research, Alex decided to double down on his opinions, along with pulling the old "I'm sorry you felt that way." Genius.
So first of all,
All right, I'm a little worried. Let's get into this.
I'm sorry if I worded my video in a way that made it sound like I am defending or...
Okay, you have to immediately change the if for that. When he says, "I'm sorry if I did this," I think you have to go, "I'm sorry that I worded it the wrong way," right? Because the if makes it sound like there's a chance you didn't, when at this point, I would say you did word it pretty poorly.
It sound like...
And then sound like is also...
I am defending or pro in some way. That is very much not the intention of the video. The video was not meant to be a defense of Bear. I think I say that in the video. It is sort of an objective observation of how he gets from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie.
No, it's kind of obvious you wanted to have some sort of contrarian spin to your review so it stands out from the others. Your opening for your original review, it just screams,
"I'm the base guy, and my opinion's gonna offend some of you."
I am not a racist. I do not condone rape.
Did you have to read? I'm sorry, did he have to read that one off the iPhone? He couldn't have just like said that? That's not good. Yeah, I would feel also like maybe ironing your shirt would be a good move before this video.
I do respect women. I do not think women deserve
This is like the Roderick Heffley apology. "I'm sorry, women." Dude, Diary of a Wimpy Kid is the best movie ever made. When Roderick gets caught with like the porn magazine or like Playboy, and his mom is like, "How do you feel having owned this magazine?" And he goes, "Ashamed." And then his band members are like, "Yep, he's ashamed." It's a great movie.
to be raped. Apparently I need to say this very clearly. So, that is my thoughts on the topic.
Alex brings up the more outlandish shit to make the criticism towards him seem overall trivial. Yeah, anyone who thinks Alex supports rape is fucking stupid. It doesn't deserve any sort of attention whatsoever. However, there's no point in Alex saying this besides trivializing the backlash towards him, because
the problem is that the most trivial and like ridiculous sounding stuff got to the top, and like the most extreme conclusions from the video were like the comments Diesel put in the front. So even if the video sucked, if those comments are getting a lot of likes, you might have to respond. So even with Diesel saying, "Oh, don't give them attention," like they have attention and they're on your video and people are seeing them, so you might want to respond.
The idiots who are saying this shit about him are not gonna hear him say, well, I thought this Alex guy loved sprinting at women walking by themselves at night, but after he said he doesn't support rape, I think I might have been a little wrong about him.
And to close things out, I am not a thought leader. I'm not a politician. I'm just a random guy on YouTube who's making cartoons about movies. And some of those movies have heavy subject matter. Sometimes it relates to you in a very direct way. But ultimately, I'm just making mostly jokey cartoons about movies. And maybe you don't think they're funny, or you don't think they're good, or whatever. But that's all I'm doing. And I've never claimed to be a perfect person. I've never claimed to be an arbiter of morality. I'm just a dude on YouTube making jokes about movies. So, thank you for your time.
Ah, yes. The old, why are you taking me so seriously? I'm just a dumb YouTuber. My guy, you can't ignite a nuanced discussion and then in the next breath say,
I am not a thought leader. I'm just a random guy on YouTube who's making cartoons about movies. I'm just making mostly jokey cartoons about movies.
Yeah, like, even if that's somewhat true, a lot of the time when it isn't and it blows up in your face wouldn't be a good time to say that all you do is do funny videos that are silly, right? Because the one time you didn't and it blew up in your face, like, yeah, that, I don't know. It's just not.
had a bad take. That's it. You just misinterpreted a movie. If you're admitting that your opinion shouldn't be taken seriously, then don't talk about certain topics in the first place. You're the one that made the video. No one made a video about you and demanded for your opinion on obsession.
This is the thing. It's like when he wants to say, I'm just a guy who makes silly videos and I shouldn't be taken seriously, but you made this video hoping that people would take it seriously, right? Like, again, like if this all went well, if this all went right, and you got 1 billion fucking likes, you wouldn't then make a video saying, I don't know why this has so many likes, guys. I don't know why so many people love this video. I'm just a guy who makes stuff that no one should care about. Like, you'd probably feel really high and mighty about this.
If you have to pull the excuse they're not an expert when talking about it, then don't fucking talk about it. Oh, hey, look.
Like, this is the main thing where I do feel like a lot of people want to minimize their influence and how people listen to them only when they do something really stupid or say something really dumb. Like, if I made a video and I defended someone who shouldn't be defended or whatever, and I do it really poorly, if I were to then say, I don't know why you guys watch me and listen to me, I'm just an idiot. Well, it's like, that's just such a cheap cop-out in my opinion, because I wouldn't have been saying that if it all went well.
Look, another pinned comment. I'm sure that'll fix everything. When I said has sex with Nikki, I misspoke. I should have said sexually assaulted. I am not trying to downplay that part of the movie. Bear is a racist. To be clear.
Oh, Jesus, man. Poor guy. Like, he's just fighting for his life.
Amazing. Now,
and I mean, oh, dude, I don't even know what, this is just a disaster.
downplay that part of the movie. Bear is a racist. To be clear. Amazing. Now, I guess me dismantling Alex's 2 videos is more so for his fan base that believes he can do no wrong, considering Alex himself conceded on literally everything after he realized his response video was received poorly. Hopefully, when he decides to have more nuanced discussions in the future, he actually understands the fundamentals of the movie he's reviewing instead of embracing the contrarian persona.
That's like the best way to put it.
In the future.
Because ultimately, what he's done now is kind of put himself in a weird position where if he wants to try to do a nuanced review again, he'd be going back on the downplaying of his own videos that he just tried to do. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't hate this guy or anything. It's very clear that he made a mistake with this video. How sorry for it he really feels versus, like, how much of this is just damage control, I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, this is like, he fucked up. There are idiots in the comments screaming about how evil he is. They're wrong. I think there's probably valid criticism here, and there's people that are being chill about this, and they're just saying, like, yeah, this sucked, but okay. I mean, that's the drama. Take of this what you want. Clearly not an irredeemable crime or anything, but yeah. I never watched this guy to begin with, so it's not like it's not like I'm speaking from the in-group or anything, and like my opinion is from the perspective of like a viewer. I'm an outsider watching this, so take that how you will.